Hello, heroes and villains. Welcome to Multiverse. Today, we are going to take a look at our friend Snake Eyes. I'm sure you guys are aware of it, although maybe not. The buzz has not been very strong for the Snake Eyes movie. Basically, the Snake Eyes movie, we're just a few days from the Snake Eyes movie being released. I think it's going to be released in like 3 days. And strangely enough, there's not much buzz about the movie. Although I kind of sort of understand it, it looks very generic. One of the issues we've had with movies, whether it's Black Widow, Snake Eyes, or even the upcoming Shang-Chi movie, people sometimes saw those trailers and didn't know which movie it was. Like people would see the new Snake Eyes trailer and they would think that, oh, it's the new Shang-Chi trailer or it's the new Black Widow trailer. It's as if like they made those movies like only generic action movies, and people can't seem to be able to tell them apart. So we can create a pretty good version of our friend Snake Eyes in the Cineverse Online, as you can see. Although we have to cheat a little bit, I'll show you how I did this. So here we've got something that is pretty darn close to the look of our friend Snake Eyes in the current movie. I'll tweak the mask a bit to try to show a few alternatives. So to reproduce the sort of visor that our friend Snake Eyes has, I had to use the magnetic paladin headpiece. And it is the headpiece, it's not just a face piece. You think that they would have made it a face piece, but apparently no, they made it a headpiece. For the shoulders, I used the spindrift shoulders so that we could have the emblem on the shoulders. It kind of sort of fakes out the emblem that the Snake Eyes has on his shoulders. Basically, he has the emblem of the Ninja Clan on his shoulder. Obviously, we don't have such an emblem, but the emblem I have is close enough. For the back piece, I went with the Amazon Soldier to have the sword in the back that our friend Snake Eyes should have. For the chest piece, I'm using the Lethal Zealot. The gloves is the Argus Operative. There's probably a handful of gloves that you could use, but these did the trick well enough, so I went with that. For the belt, I went with the Vengeful Surgeon, but again, all you really need is a belt with a whole bunch of pouches, and there's quite a few of those in DC Universe Online. For the pants, I went with the cargo pants. I thought I would use the paramilitary pants, but I thought the cargo pants were actually a better option. The same for the boots. The paramilitary boots would probably be another option, but I kind of prefer to use the Stalwart Defender. And for the headpiece, seeing how the magnetic paladin headpiece is only really a visor, I'm using the glowing skin and I'm putting the glowing skin black. That's how we can fake out having the Snake Eyes face mask. Ideally for the face mask, we will use a full slimline face mask. Sadly, we cannot use this and the magnetic paladin at the same time, but we do have a few other options. The first option would be to use the Arctic Gear face mask. So this is an option to get a little bit closer to the classic face mask that our friend Snake Eyes used to have. Another option would be to use the Goggles face mask. The Goggles face mask is probably the closer option to how Snake Eyes looked early on in the comics. And of course, basically early on you had only a slimline suit with sometimes he would have a belt and straps and pouches and stuff like that. But overall, this is pretty darn close to our friend Snake Eyes in the early days. And then later on they added the emblem. Let me show you the emblem I'm using. So at some point they introduced in the comics the Arashikage Ninja Clan, and they added the emblem of the Ninja Clan to the Snake Eyes costume at some point. I think they added it to Storm Shadow too, but I might be mistaken. And here the closest I could find was the rank patch emblem. It's not exactly it, but within the context of DC Universe Online, you get as close to the style you want as you can. And of course, we have to take a look at our friend Storm Shadow. I'm not going to do all the G.I. Joes, but Storm Shadow is an important part of Snake Eyes' origin, and obviously he's going to be in the movie. And we can create a pretty darn good version of Storm Shadow in DC Universe Online. And we do have quite a few bows we could use with our friend Storm Shadow. So for the headpiece, I went with the Thug headpiece. Storm Shadow had a few costumes throughout the years. There's one where it basically had a hood and a mask at the same time, and that's not really an option in DC Universe Online. Either you get the mask or the hood. You can't really get both. So I wasn't able to recreate other versions of our friend Storm Shadow, so I stuck with the classic or something close to the classic version. I shouldn't have the spindrift shoulders, but I decided to keep it anyway. So for the back piece, I went with the Amazon Polymark so that we could get both swords. Obviously, it's not the right kind of swords, but these are the swords we have. For the chest piece, I went with the Tech Ninja. We could use the Argus Operative if we wanted to have a more high-tech version of Storm Shadow a little bit. But the Tech Ninja seemed like a better option, and it's one of the few options where we can have the emblem a bit off-center for the character. For the hands, I went with the Banded hands. I couldn't really find a proper set of hands for our friend Storm Shadow. And they normally should have short sleeves. Oh yeah, I forgot to look at that. I guess we could use the Archer if we tried to go for the short sleeves version of the character. And I guess we could also go for the Archer back piece. Sadly, if we go for the Archer back piece, which would be, I guess, appropriate for our friend Storm Shadow. We don't have the two swords. I guess an easy fix would be to have like this look here for one armory. And this look here for a second armory. You decide. For the belt, I went with the Wizardly belt. There's probably a handful of belts that could be used, but this belt worked well enough. For the pants, again, the Tech Ninjas. For the feet, I couldn't really find a proper boots for our friend Storm Shadow, so I settled with the Kabuki. And of course, for the emblem, you have to go for the Cobra emblem. You have no choice. I guess you could go for the rank patch also if you wanted to recreate the emblem of the Arishikage Ninja Clan. You decide. And here I went with the White Nebula Chroma to be able to get a nice white for our costume, although you can see there's a bit of nebula pattern that comes out here and there. I guess another option would be the opalescent material. The white opalescent material would give it the same texture everywhere, but I'm not sure. There's something bothering me about the opalescent material, so I'd rather not use that. An alternative would be the Pearl Neon Chroma material, but it has a bit the same issue as the opalescent material, and there are some shiny bits here and there. I guess we could try the White Neon Chroma material. It still has the shiny bits, but at least the white looks a bit better in my book. So if you have the option, that's probably what I would go for. Sadly, the White Neon Chroma material is a bit challenging to be able to get, sadly. For the weapon for our friend Snake Eyes, the obvious choice would be to go with the one-handed sword. In this case, the katana. I guess another option would be to go for the rifle. It would allow us to be able to use dual pistols and one-handed masteries with that. So being able to switch between rifle and dual pistols kind of give mobility to your character in combat. And for the sword we go tap, hold, and hold. That would be nice. And that's the other combo we can use with the sword. So with the rifle, you could alternate between using the rifle, the sword, and the dual pistols in combat. I wish we could use a Uzi. Basically, our friend Snake Eyes, at least in the early days, was using a Uzi weapon. Sadly, I've looked around and I don't think there is a Uzi in DC Universe Online. It's sad, but that's how it is. Although there is quite a pretty big assortment of various rifles you could use. So sadly, we do not have access to the Uzi itself, but we have access to a whole other bunch of weapons that our friend Snake Eyes could use. So there's pretty much an embarrassment of riches when it comes to rifles for our friend Snake Eyes. There's even a big crossbow. Don't think I ever used it. I'm gonna have to try to use the rifle a bit more. And of course, you get some sort of alien rifle. Of course. So obviously, with our friend Storm Shadow, dual wield is a pretty good option. And even better yet, if you take the masteries, you're going to be able to use dual wield and the bow. So to use the bow, we can go with too fast. So to use the bow, we can go with tap and then hold. It's a combo that's very easy to use, and it's very fitting for our friend Storm Shadow. And for the other combo, it's simply 2 hold. So 1 hold and 2 hold. 1 hold, 2 hold. Some combos sometimes will be challenging with certain weapons. Some combos will be difficult to execute. In this case, very simple combos. And it works really well to have our Storm Shadow basically use dual wield and the bow. But you could decide to use the bow and the martial art masteries. So one is tap to hold and 3 tap to hold. So let's give it a try. So tap, hold, and hold. Or tap, tap, hold, hold, and hold. So tap, hold, and hold. Tap, 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 hold, and hold. I have to admit I kind of prefer using the katanas and the bow. It gives us, I guess, a better range attack, but oh well. So we can make pretty good versions of our friends Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow in this Universe Online. And of course, if you're one of the many who do not seem to know that the Snake Eyes movie is launching in about 3 days, now you know. If you have any questions, feel free to ask so in the comment section down below, and I'll see what I can do about answering your questions. I have roughly 2,000 videos about this Universe Online at this point, so if I don't answer your question right away, just search in my videos. Odds are I already made a video that answers your question. Or click one of the videos that you see on your screen right now.